Welcome to RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I am Sam Allman.
I'm Elias Sailor Eli Warren.
And I am Maddie Grace Spiffle Webbin. Sorry, I think I had a joke there and then it just left.
Wow, so you changed your last name too? To I thought I had a joke there, but it just left.
Yeah, you know how us transes
You're going
are.
a little bit overboard.
You know how us transes are. We're always adding more and more names.
I had someone early on in my transition when I was trying to decide on a middle name who was trying to convince me that I should change my middle name to Tiger. It was like, how rad would that be if you were
Elias? That would not be a good fit for you at all.
Elias Tiger Warren. And I'm like, no, I don't think so.
That's hilarious.
I changed it just so everyone knows a little bit of backstory about me. I changed my middle name. Yeah, I changed my middle name to Lane, Lane. I technically could have kept it as my old middle name, which was Lynn, because Lynn, which is a unisex name. But I wanted to make it a little more masculine sounding. I almost went real nerdy with it and spelled it with 2 L's to be like the World of Warcraft Lane Rin. But I decided against that.
Probably
That's great.
And also, you'd have at least you some asshole in your life, probably me, would always say it as Yane.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yane.
Some pretentious douchebag, Maddie.
Also, fun fact: I feel like here's as good a time as any to share this because I just thought of it. TBH though, any advice for any transes out there listening to this? If you're thinking about name stuff, one of the best pieces of advice I ever got from my dear friend Amber Autumn, who told me to tell y'all hi. She doesn't actually listen to this podcast because she doesn't really play video games, but she said to tell y'all hi. So whatever.
Hi, Amber.
Anyway. She told me wonderful advice. She said, "Look, you're making up your own name. There's no rule about how many names you can have. If you can't decide between 2 different names, just do both of them. It's fine." So she has 5 names because she kind of just kept thinking of good ones, but now it's official because she's done her name change and probably doesn't want to pay to do it again. So right now I'm at 4. And I'm probably going to stick with 4, but also, like, she's got 5. Maybe I could think of a 5th one to throw in there.
No, you got to think of 2 more. You can't let her one up you.
That's too many. I know I just said there's no rule, but for me, that's too many. Anyway, that's my advice. That's my advice. If you got 2 different names you like, just go with both of them.
Nice. Today we will be continuing. We'll be continuizing to be no good sellouts and talk about the 5th section of Chrono Trigger, which ends after the hella dramatic developments at the end of the Ocean Palace, which if you still don't know what they are, you should stop and go play the game because Eli can now attest this is a dramatic development at the end of the Ocean Palace.
If you've already played the game or playing along with us, it really is the definition of you'll know it when you see it. If you're not playing the game along with us, then you'll find out what it is at the end of the episode. So fuck it, be patient.
Yeah. Us settling out like this is cue for you guys to head over to ko-fi.com/rpgbookclub and vote on our Best of the Rest poll for year 2 and vote on whether we should play The Last Remnant, Shadows of Adam, Danganronpa 1, or Star Tropics 1 and 2. Last time I checked, Danganronpa was unanimously voted as number 1, so that's probably going to be it unless some people come from behind. But while our listeners go and vote, how was all of you guys' week? Hosts.
I'm trying to think of what I did. I don't think I did anything.
I'm just chilling in Cedar Rapids. I did finally get my Covey bucks. Oh wait, maybe that happened last week. Time has lost all meaning. Who gives a shit? Anyway, no. Yeah, I finally got my Covey bucks last week and a paycheck and all that kind of stuff. And in addition to all that, I've spent a lot of time doing scheduling and budgeting and like life planning and also job applicationing, also known as applying. And that's cool, actually. It's, like for a while I was in this sort of like crappy quarantine funk like everyone else, but now it's just like I'm getting a routine. I'm moving forward in all these goals. Is it kind of lame and embarrassing that I apparently can't have any drive or direction in my life and actually move forward on any of my plans unless I have a girl that I like who I want to live with and be happy? Like, if I can't just do these things for myself after doing them for someone else, is that kind of pathetic? Yes, but oh well, that's how it is. So I'm making, like thinking about having a relationship with someone and ways to benefit that relationship. You know what I'm saying? By like making more money in a better job or stuff like so that you can visit them more often. Crap like that. Anyway, I'm doing great. Also, I have coffee now. I was out of coffee for like a week, and now I have coffee, and I got a different kind of ground this time. I got coarse ground, which means I can do French press, and I haven't done French press in ages. So now I'm getting back into French press, and I like it, and I've had 3 cups of coffee today.
You sound like it.
Here's the thing. That's actually a normal amount of coffee for me, but I haven't been having that much since quarantine started. Because guess what? It's hard. It's more of a pain in the butt to make coffee when you're not in an office that has a Keurig. So I'm not actually wired. I'm more just like in a good mood. But yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
What about you, Eli? I am actually not at my microphone right now. I'm kicking the cookie. So
I did fucking nothing. I genuinely cannot. I mean, I called all my maternal figures in my life yesterday. Well, I texted my sister, but not that my sister is a maternal unit for me, but she is a mother, and so I felt like I should text my sister at least and tell her Happy Mother's Day. But called both my grandmas, and they were both happy to hear from me. And I called my mom, and that was nice, and so it was a good Mother's Day that I almost forgot about. But I didn't, and that's the point.
That's good.
And I love my mom, and I love my sister, and I love my grandmas. They're all great.
Nice.
Yeah. Other than that, fucking nothing else has happened. It's been so, like, it's all just been, hoping that the Backstreet Boys reunion tour ends soon.
Yeah. So the only cool thing that happened to me this week, and it's literally not even cool at all, but I mean, I've been on call at work, and I've felt like a big boy. Like, everyone trusts me to be in charge of everything, which is cool. But screw that stuff.
I'm just kidding.
The cool thing that happened to me. The cool thing that happened is I rented an ebook from the library when COVID started, but I accidentally got sidetracked by Final Fantasy XII, which is a really good video game, and I've been playing that in all of my normal reading times, so I didn't finish the book in the 3 weeks that they give me. But on my Kindle, the book is still open. So it hasn't kicked me off of it yet, even though I've returned it to the library. So I've had free book reading all day today, and I felt like I hacked the system, and it's been wonderful.
You were in and out of the system before breakfast knew what ate it. Oh, hold on. So let's see. 10:43. That's our start to Homestuck reference for the week.
There it is. Oh, also, I finally started reading Homestuck 2 again. I had been there was an update like 2 months ago that it was one update that was one page, and it was just as much content that is normally in an update, but only on one page. So it was really long. Took a really long time to read, and it kind of like burned me out a little bit. And so I hadn't read it in like 2 months, but I started reading it again, and it's really good. Homestuck 2 is great. Everyone should read Homestuck 2. But yeah, our lives are boring, so let's talk about people's lives who aren't boring in approximately a minute. So, when we last left our heroes, they had gone through the portal that was left behind by Lavos and ended up in 13,000 ago in a snowy wasteland with no real direction in life. So, you can go to one of two places when it starts. You can go to Terra Cave or a building that's marked Skyway. I walked into Terra Cave first, did not see the door on the side because the sprite work, like the door wasn't obvious. I thought it was a dead end and I turned around and left. So I don't actually know what happens if you go to Terra Cave first because I didn't get farther than the first room.
No, you can't. You can't go past first room.
Oh, okay. Then I don't feel so dumb.
Yeah, no, because if you recall, it's not a door. There's a ladder. The ladder is pulled up at this point. So yeah, there's a ladder that you can't climb because it's been like retracted, and later it's going to be down for a reason that is not explained because the game decided that you have to go here now.
Okay, cool. So you make your way into the building that's marked Skyway, and when you go through, excuse me, I have like a burp that's not quite ready, so I thought it was coming, but it wasn't there yet.
Is that foreshadowing for a battle later? That's disgusting.
LOL. It is really disgusting. I'm sorry. I didn't have time to mute both microphones.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
Dude, that was like a really, really intense burp.
It was. But yeah, so you make your way through the Skyway and you end up in a city in the clouds. It describes itself as a country in the clouds with multiple cities, yet it's at the scale that like other cities were, and it kind of just feels like a city. So in my heart of hearts, it's always a city, even though each little city has its own name and own like backstory and everything. For me, it's like, no, this is the building called Inhasa. But the place is called Zeal. The kingdom is, and the first section we go to is called Inhasa, where they study dreams, and everyone there is a college-age stoner who took intro to psychology and thinks that they're so fucking deep. And most of it in the Woolsey cut is hilarious, but fun isn't allowed in the Slattery cut, so it's just a bunch of wankers talking about their dreams. And It 100% feels like when I was talking with my friend Emma, she took psychology and she was doing all this stuff. It's like, you know, like we don't have any proof that time existed before, like right now. Like it could have totally just happened with everything in motion and everybody's memories going. I'm like, whatever, cool. Can we talk about something like real?
This is a
like
clever
Digimon.
This is a clever bit of foreshadowing for the entirety of Chrono Cross.
Yes, where everyone is a stoner who took intro to psychology.
But it's different. They also have depression.
True. There's a couple things we learn here in Hasa, where and we learn that there's a shrine to the sun to the north that needs a rainbow shell, which, if you remember, we got breadcrumbs to this quest long ass time ago, and but no one can. Gross. But
we're just gonna comment on how gross everybody's fucking bodily functions are tonight. Apparently,
I'm gonna cough on you. Now, what
who's gonna fart into the mic? Who's
gonna take one to the team and fart into the mic? So the few things that we learn is that there's a sun shrine to the north and it's sealed and no one can open it. And we also learned that the queen has been spearheading scientific advancement lately, and everyone in Inhasa seems to be happy. And you're like, cool, let's go check out the next town. But before you do, you run into this little boy who ominously says, "The black winds howl. One of you will shortly perish." And I'm just going to come out and say it, but goth kids fucking suck.
also important to note, this kid has blue hair.
Yes.
And
so the next little area, I forget what it's called. It's like Katarja or something dopey. But everyone there is a scientist, and they all talk about how they used to be a kick-ass utopia, and they were wanting for nothing, and they were running on solar power, but their solar power was by a rock that had the sun's energy, and it was starting to die out. And instead of like fixing that and continuing a utopia, they decided to use nuclear power that's named after the Hebrew phrase for wealth or greediness. So it's not an omen at all.
It's literally called the Mammon machine, which, Mammon, as Sam said, it's they might as well just call it evil villain machine.
So, fun fact, in Japanese, it's called the devil vessel. So, literally, there's a lot of omens around this that they should probably not be fucking with it.
Also, TBH, our fucking boy, wait, the name of our boy is the localizer. Ted Woolsey. Fantastic localization choice. Holy moly.
Yeah, it's so good. It's literally my favorite Woolseyism. Yeah, out of all of Final Fantasy VI and all of Chrono Trigger, because those are the two Woolsey games that I've played, this is my favorite translation bit that he's done. Because
I don't even think it's translation. Like, that's just what it is. It's a fucking Mammon machine.
Yeah, it's like, it's such an obscure Bible reference that nobody that played it probably caught it. But then if you look it up, it's so perfectly named. It's perfect. Like it sounds like it works better in English because of this localization choice than it does in Japanese. Like, if they're going around being like, oh, it's the Mammon machine, and you don't know ancient Hebrew, because I think about 50% of the populace doesn't know ancient Hebrew. But if you don't know it, you're just like, oh, what a weird name for a machine. But if you're Japanese, you fucking know what the devil vessel is. Like, it's the devil vessel. You can't really get around it being called the devil. And so I really like that it's like a subtle foreshadowing here, which, as me and Maddie were talking off mic at length, this game is really good at subtlety, and this like adds to it, and it's fucking good. Yeah. I love it.
Also, if you've ever been on any forum, like any Weeb or JRPG forum, there's going to be at least 10 people named Mammon Machine. It's just such a good phrase that people use it a lot. For example, AVB, wonderful writer and game designer AVB, her screen name is Mammon Machine, like on Twitter and shit, right? And her publication is called Zeal. But like, she's not the only person to think of that. It's pretty common because, again, it fucking rules.
It's so good. Shout outs to our boy Ted.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Teddy Westside. So, while we're there in the Science City, we also learn that those with magic get to live in the paradise in the sky, and those without have to live in the uninhabitable ice age down below, because every utopia is a dystopia, no exceptions.
It's true.
And we also learn that the queen has two children, Shala and Janice, and Shala is a golden child, and Janice is a little piece of shit whose only friend is a cat. And
also at this point, if you pay attention and notice the cat in the earlier scene, you do know that little boy from earlier with the blue hair, his name is Janice. That's the same character. So
yes. And we also learn about the prophet, who has bitchin' magical power. And he's shown up out of nowhere and got real close to the queen out of nowhere. And she's doing everything he says out of nowhere. And that there used to be 3 gurus who were in charge, but as soon as the prophet showed up, all 3 of them got disappeared. So that's probably above board. Nothing weird going on there at all.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Normal.
Were you about to say something, Maddie?
Normal country. Oh, I was going to suggest that I think this might be a little bit, at least, different from what I saw, which was that all the stuff about the queen doing stuff, and specifically the gurus going away, I think happened before the prophet showed up, or was it at least unrelated?
The prophet. Maybe, but I don't think so, because of something that the queen says specifically when we get to that scene here in a bit. So we'll talk about that then. So we make our way up to the actual palace, where we learn about or meet, if you explore in the wrong order and you make your way to the Blackbird, you can meet Dalton right here. I don't know if you guys did.
I went to the Blackbird first. Yeah, it's a cool little scene.
Yeah. So you can meet Dalton, who used to be the chief scientist in charge of the Ocean Palace before the Prophet showed up. But now he's just a mook, and he's all mad about it and shit. So
Blackbird.
Yeah. But not the Ocean Palace.
He's an engineer.
Yeah. So we also learn that Lady Shala has a pendant that looks just like ours. Like 15 different NPCs are just like, oh, hey, weird clothes. You're obviously not from around here. And you have a pendant that looks just like our princesses. Well, minding my own business.
Moving on.
Don't start nothing, won't be nothing. And so we learned that the pendant was made from the same stone as the Mammon Machine, and when she is nearby the Mammon Machine, her pendant glows with a strange light. And then we do and all of this so far is not like we go and we're seeing scenes. Like it's all of Zeal is completely just like look around and absorb the world, and it's really, really cool, and it's really aimless.
It might be some of the best let's do a lore dump via nonlinear NPC exploration that I've ever seen in a video game.
Yeah, it's good. Were you going to say something else?
No, I think maybe I cut off as I was ending, so you thought I was. No, we're good.
Okay, cool. So we after all of that, we run into Janice and Shala, who are having a moment in Shala's room. And Shala says that the queen is putting Shala to work all the time these days, so she can't spend a lot of time with Janice. And Janice is like, that queen is not our mom. She's been acting so cray-cray lately. And we, something's up. And she's like, yeah, well, anywho, gonna go to the Ocean Palace, BRB. And so she heads off. So we try to follow her, but there's a large stone door with a big gold crest on it that shuts behind her after she opens it. And we notice that she opened it with her glowing pendant. And since ours is just like hers, maybe we can too. So we make our way to the Mammon Machine, where we just like walk by all the guards. They really don't like until the next scene where they respond to us in a big bad way. The whole rest of the time, like none of these smart people even give a shit that there's like weird time travelers in their midst. They're just like, huh, a robot. That's fucky. Oh, well, there's a robot, a frog, and a cave person are just waltzing through here. Whatever. Let's just continue dealing our shit.
People are very strange these days.
Yeah. So when we get to the Mammon Machine, Marl's pendant, sure enough, gets all red and glowy. But again, no one seems to care. So we go through the door that Shala went through and finally get to meet the queen on her big, super tall throne, which is real cool looking. When we show up, the prophet says that we are the beings that he has prophesized about, and we're going to cause doom to all of Zeal. So the queen calls in Dalton, who summons a huge golem to fuck us up, and he succeeds.
Dalton's a bitch too.
Yeah, he summons a golem, and it fucking kills us like right away. You can technically win this fight on your first time through, but I doubt that any of us did.
Yeah,
did anybody win it?
Very, very difficult to win this fight on the first try.
Yeah, like it's tuned for like 5 levels higher than you are. Like after you go and do 5 levels worth of crap here in a second, you come back to fight it. And also its gimmick is really punishing, and they get away with that by teaching you the gimmick in this battle for you to then own it in the next battle.
Also, I just realized something kind of interesting. A gimmick battle like this, like, you totally could beat this battle 5, even more than 5 levels under leveled, because once you figure out the gimmick, it is pretty easily cheesable at basically any level of you have to play pretty defensively, but you could do it. But here's the thing: who's going to do this fight more than once?
Yeah,
this is a forced loss fight, right? Mm-hmm. So the only way you would ever beat this battle is not just can you beat it? Because it's not that hard to beat. But you would have to figure out the gimmick and beat it on your first try. Because if you lose, it just continues with the plot. You're not going to reset your game and try again. So it's like even less likely that you'll beat it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's cool. It's a really well used forced loss. Yeah. Like it's not super obvious that it's forced. So you get the like, well, shit, I fucking died. Oh, good. It was a forced loss. I'm supposed to die. Instead of like, oh, I'm fighting Bowser in the first 5 seconds of the first 3 Mario RPGs. I bet he's going to kick my ass, and then I'm going to have a whole RPG to do to go back and kick his ass again.
Oh yeah. Also, I want to mention something real quick. This part of the game was to hear it be told according to like according to lore. This part of the game was nearly 100% written by not Yoko Taro, by the
Yuji Horii?
No, by the Xenogears guy.
Takahashi?
No, the other Xenogears guy, Chrono Cross guy.
It's gone. It's an M word.
Masato Kato. Anyway,
yes, Masato Kato.
Yeah, so Masato Kato was like obviously involved in the game in general. He was on the team, but like specifically from what I've heard, it's like no, every single thing that happens in the Kingdom of Zeal is written by Masato Kato, which is I'm just gonna say 100% noticeable. I just want to mention here, until we got to Zeal, we had never had a forced loss, and now we have one. So that's one thing that happens a lot in Xenogears that's happening here, and also a floating city in the sky. Ding, ding, ding. There's the second thing. Guess what? This counter is going to be like at 10 by the end of the episode. So we're at 2 so far.
Yeah. But, so somewhere in her little like thing right here, she mentions when the prophet is like, they're the people that I warned you about, you got to get rid of them, and she goes, oh, I can take care of them. I already took care of the gurus. Dalton, get him with the golem. So here she specifically mentioned that she disappeared the gurus, and it sounds like it had to deal with
Gotcha.
When the prophet showed up.
Oh, you know
but
what?
Also,
yeah, because the prophet was probably like, these gurus can stop my evil plot.
Yeah, and because the gurus being like, they're not dead and blasted through time until they wake up Lavos, as we learn from Balthazar. Because Balthazar is like, oh, I wound up here after a big explosion or whatever, a big calamity in my original age. Spoilers for in a second when we meet Balthazar, but Melchior, spoilers in a second when we meet Melchior, is just tied up on the mountain, and so presumably the other gurus are somewhere else similar to Melchior.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But so after we lose to the golem, they put us in a magical stasis barrier, and it fades to black. Then when it fades back up, Shala and Janice come to help us, but Janice is a little shit about it.
Characters captured and in suspended animation. Xenogears, ding ding, number 2, number 3, number 4 actually. This is 4 now.
And so they decide to let us out, but right when they let us down, the prophet comes through, and he's like, I'm about to kill you. But he doesn't kill us because Shala asks him to, and I wonder if that will be important next week. 2 important characters that are very obviously the same guy. Ding, 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 Xenogears number 5. So instead of killing us, he makes us show him the time gate, which he then puts us inside and makes Shala seal with her magic so that we can't come back through. Then on the other side, we try to think of how to get back. And for me, it was Marl, but this game has 210 versions of every scene, so it could literally be anybody. Recognizes the big crest on the door to the throne room was the same one that we saw in the Keeper Dome, which is on the other side of the sewers in 2300 AD. So those doors are also everywhere and also on a bunch of chests, and you could, if you wanted to, go and open them all right now, but it's really hard without the upgraded epic, which we don't even have yet. So I did not do it. But Eli, I will tell you the trick. I alluded to it a long time ago, but I will tell it to you explicitly now because we're to that part of the game. So when you get your upgraded epic and you decide to go and get all the chests, you should. The rewards for getting all the chests are really awesome. Namely, a armor that absorbs an entire element, which is real good.
Which was really nice this week.
Would have been. That's the way you. That's the way you cheese the even cheesier version of the golem fight is to basically just keep hitting them with one element that everybody is immune to. But so what you do is you want to go to 600 AD first and go to all the chests. And if the chest is like, oh, hey, your pendant is glowing, do you want to open the chest or leave it? Click to leave it, then go to 1000 AD and open the chest, and the item will have upgraded from 50% reduction to absorb, which is real good. So open it in 1000 AD, then you can go back to 600 AD and open it again and get both. But you want to pick it up and put it back down and
tag it in the past, then get it as far future as possible, and then get them in reverse order from future to past.
Yes. But I didn't do any of that this week. So instead, we make our way to the Keeper Dome, and we the old guy that was in there before is not there anymore. And so we make our way to the top, and we open the sealed door, and we find a cool egg-shaped time ship called the Epic. You can name it whatever you want. I called mine the TARDIS.
I named it Plan X, as in the Planet Express ship.
Nice.
Oh, I do want to say, so you mentioned that the chests are a huge pain in the butt. There is, if we recall, there was also one more very conspicuous special door. It's at the very first dome you go to in the future, the Tran Dome, maybe, or the one that you first showed. Like if you go in the other direction, anyway, it's actually super duper easy to get to, and the shit in there is amazing. So I just want to recommend anyone go get it if they want to. I did do that because it's so easy.
Yeah, I went and grabbed the stuff in the domes.
Yeah, there's good shit in there. There's good shit in them there hills, but on your way back through the hallway to get to the Epic, there's exposition sparkles everywhere. They basically just sum up what we already know. They're kind of like we've taken the training wheels off for the past like 5 or 6 story beats. So to make sure that you actually know what's up, we're going to sum up exactly everything that's going on. And it also adds that Lavos survived 1999 and is currently at death peak in 2300 AD and is already spawning little baby Lavoses up there. And that sounds not good. So we go in and we get the ship and a new, which we haven't talked about on the podcast because they're not important. They're just little. They're the Moogles of this game, and they're fucking ugly. But
I hate them.
Yeah,
I truly hate them.
I am almost
they make me really uncomfortable.
I'm almost positive that they are all they're all like either robots or like artificially created creatures. I'm pretty sure they're all made by Zeal. Like Zeal, because there's a lot of them in Zeal as well. And anytime you see them, it's always something related to one of the, what are these guys called?
Gurus.
Prophets? Gurus. It's
Gurus.
always something related to a guru or something related to Zeal. So I'm pretty sure that in Zeal, they're what's the word? They're
automatons?
No, I was gonna say, well, I guess you could say they're golems, but not like the boss golem.
Yeah,
which is also a golem, but but like in the mythical sense, it is a golem. I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, that's my headcanon. I'm pretty sure that Dalton made the golem, which makes sense. He's able to make a giant airship. He could probably make a golem. Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure the news are created as like assistants, with like no free will or anything, but they're like a little bit intelligent. So I'm pretty sure that's what they are, and I guess they can live for a long time.
Yeah, and they look like Pac-Man from Pac-World for the SNES, and they're fucking gross, and I fucking hate them.
I disagree. I really like them. I mean, they are like weird looking, but I think they're weird looking in a cute and cool and kind of mysterious way.
They creep me the fuck out.
They're gross. So, anywho, Anu comes in and says that he has the memory of Balthazar downloaded into him, and he installs some seats into the Epic, and we are good to fly through time and not space. It is a stationary time ship. You only can go to the same spot in each time period.
And the design of it's so funny. It's almost like there's something missing, you know, like the design, it's just not quite balanced. It's like there should be something on either side of it. You know what I mean? Like some triangle shapes would really balance it out.
So now that we have a time machine, we make our way back to 12,000 BC, and we try to march up that skyway and give them what for, but the skyway is blocked. So instead, we now make our way through Terra Cave, the first half of which is a town in the Slattery Cut. They're called the Earthbound ones, which makes me giggle because of Earthbound.
They're the ones who are always emailing Reggie every fucking day, like, when's Mother 3 coming out? When's it coming to the West?
Yes.
When?
Yeah, they're the Earthbound ones. But the NPCs there all basically just hammer home how fucked up it is that Zeal kicks out all non-magical people. And they mention that Melchior is the name of the Guru of Life. And if you're anyone that's not made out of pure concrete, you've put together, oh, I remember Melchior. This is cool. And so you learn that he's imprisoned in the Mountain of Woe, which is at the other end of this cave. Called the Mud Beast Den in mine. It might be called something different on yours. But it's a 3-screen dungeon with precisely 3 fights. And it's one of the hardest fucking dungeons in the game. Like, it fucking beat the shit out of me a lot.
It was rough.
I don't recall at all. What was in it?
So they're just 2 force fights with mud beasts that have a shitload of defense, and they hit like trucks. And then the boss is the red and blue mud beast with the little Digimon master next to him. And the red and blue ones are weak to ice and fire respectively. So it's not that hard if once you take one of them down. But the mud beasts up there know X strike, and they use it as a counter. So as you're taking one down, you basically just have to tank X strike moves, which is not easy to do.
That's so
once
strange,
you get one of them down,
I had a lot of trouble with everything this week, and yet this part was did not even
wild.
Just no even fucking. Who knows? I don't know. Whatever. It's weird.
maybe you got lucky.
Maybe I just picked a better party comp, but I don't even remember what my party comp was.
Yeah, maybe so. But I know I didn't have Luca, so that's probably why I was getting my butt kicked.
I was using Chrono, Marl, and Luca.
Yeah, I did not have her, so that's probably why it was even harder for me. But after that dungeon, we have a longer one on the Mountain of Woe, which is also not very interesting, and it's much easier. I'm back to one-shotting the whole group every single fight. But at the end of the Mountain of Woe, we see Melchior's prison. But before we can free him, Giga Gaia comes out. He's huge. He's got multiple parts to him. He's got phases. He's got funny emoticons for a face. He's awesome. But his torso looks like the head and shaft of an uncut penis, and I can't unsee it. And I can't take him seriously ever again.
He's a motherfucker of a boss.
Yeah, he is. He's real damn hard. So it took me like 4 or 5 attempts. My first and second attempt, I got like pretty close, but I was still like figuring out the mechanics and trying to build a strategy. So then I decide on a strategy for my third time, and he just like takes me down in 2 moves, and like I get into a JRPG spiral on my first turn, and it's not enough to get out of it, and he just kicks my ass.
It doesn't help that like he starts out going hard with these big multiplayer or multi-character attacks.
Yeah.
2 of them in succession. And thankfully, Marl had Cure at that point.
Mm-hmm.
What I was doing, though, was like I was using her to cast haste on everybody, because I was like, this is the point in the game where I apparently have to start. I can't just like throw myself at the enemy indiscriminately. I have to actually use fucking strategy, which I hate. I hate having to think about it. But
it's the best part of the game. It fucking sucks.
yeah. But yeah, I just spent spent time giving haste to everyone, and then I was using Flame Sword with Chrono and Luca, and on the first hit on the arm, and then I would use Ice with Marl, and that would be who'd we lose?
I'm here.
Seems Maddie disconnected. There she is.
The fuck?
There she is.
Hello? Can y'all hear me?
You all right there, Maddie?
Okay, yeah, I was out for like a good 10 fucking seconds there. Weird. I guess we're good now.
Okay, cool.
So I was using Flame Sword with Chrono and Luca on the first hit on the arm, and then Ice with Marl would take it down at that point, and then I could focus on the other arm. And then once that was down, I would just make sure that Marl had haste and cure usable for everybody, and just fucking wail on the central dude.
Yeah. So I've been continuing my slightly underleveled strats, my attempt, which this week it made it way easier / way more dangerous for me. We get a special item called the wallet at some point. It might have been through that door in the future.
It is through that door.
Wallet is an amazing item. Wallet turns all of your XP into gold. Which means I no longer have to run from battles. In fact, I don't want to, because guess what? At the exact same time you get that, the equipment starts being fucking expensive. So like I could not buy all the stuff in the cave, the shitty people cave. I couldn't buy all the stuff. So it's like, damn, I need to make money. Also, I like to get to be underleveled because I don't know, it's a fun thing to do to punish myself. So 2 birds, 1 stone, right? So I went through like all of Mount Woe with the wallet equipped. I did not unequip it until I got to the boss. Anyway, I was way underleveled, and like you said, Eli, the boss has 2 all attacks. One of them is about twice as powerful as the other. One of them is going to do you like fucking 240, 250, some shit. And the other one's like maybe 150 or 120, something like that. And if it does the second one, the stronger one, and then the weaker one, and then maybe the stronger one again because he's fast
as hell,
then you're just fucking dead. Also, if you're me, you're playing with Frog and Ayla, which means, and you're not going to change your party because you're stubborn, so your heal all is a dual tech, and it also only heals everyone for a while. Oh wait, no, sorry, Frog has the pretty good heal all.
He has a heal all, but it only does like 100 because I was also in my party. And so I was like after I would survive, I would need to do Slurp Kiss, and I wouldn't be able to like do it in time. Like Ayla would come up first and I'd be mashing that A button, but I wouldn't get to it. And then he would do his next turn and do both moves, and I'd be
This is the first time in
wrecked.
the game. This is the first time in the game I've actually to turn down my speed and put it on wait. Maybe I just turned it down. I think I put it on wait for the next boss. Anyway, I know I did that earlier, but that time I did it earlier, I actually beat the boss by slowing down my speed, and then later the game crashed and I lost my save and I had to fight it again, and I didn't turn down the speed that time, so it doesn't count. Anyway, here's the strategy with this guy. If you're having a lot of trouble with it, it's actually really interesting. And y'all didn't mention this, so maybe y'all didn't figure it out, or maybe y'all just thought it wasn't interesting. I thought it was interesting. He has 2 hands. He can only do the all attack if he has both hands. It's actually a dual tech between the 2 hands. Either of the attacks. It's not like each one hand does one and one hand does the other, right? So here's what you do. You use a combination of all attacks and single attacks to get them staggered. So say you get one of the hands at 30% health and then kill the other one. Well, once the boss brings back that hand you killed, guess what? The one you didn't kill is only 1 hit away from dying. So if you stagger them, you're literally always only 1 Falcon slash away.
Falcon Strike away.
So literally use a Falcon Strike, one of them is dead, the other one's now at 50%. Then it comes back, use Falcon Strike. Now the other one dies, and the other one's at 50%. And once I figured that out, the boss was actually pretty easy, and I felt really smart.
Nice. That does sound like a way better strategy than my scream and sweat.
Yeah.
Is how I did
level up a little bit after I finished grinding, and then went all the way back to the village to get better equipment to get all the maximum level equipment. After I'd finally figured out my strategy and got all the best equipment, then I did still have to go back through Mount Woe to get to the boss, and I unequipped my wallet for that little trip. So I had a little trip of access, and I think I gained like 1 level, which probably helped a lot. So
yeah.
But now I'm back on that. I'm back on my bullshit.
Nice. So after the battle, we free Melchior, and he doesn't recognize us. So this is Melchior of the past. And he tells us that using the Mammon machine to take energy from Lavos will probably awaken him. So we need to go to the Ocean Palace to stop him. And this is actually where I stopped taking notes because I had to put my kid to sleep a little bit ago. So I don't remember the exact mechanism to get from Mount Woe to the Ocean Palace. I just know that we crashed Mount Woe into the fucking ground. Like, I don't think I even mentioned Mount Woe is not a mountain. Mount Woe is a rock that is floating tied to a chain to the earth, and it's real cool looking.
Yeah. I think it's probably the same kind of earth that Zeal is. Like, it's a chunk of Zeal. That's why it's floating on its own, but it's being held down. Yeah, you actually climb up the chain.
They kind of do the same thing with Mount Gulg in Final Fantasy XIV. It's like this floating mountain that's kind of like just kind of anchored to the ground. Yeah, it's really cool.
Very, very cool.
Yeah. So we crash that into the ground, and Melchior is like, go and stop him at the Ocean Palace, and we do. I don't remember if he teleports us or we find a way there or what. It doesn't really matter.
There's actually a whole ass scene here with Scala. I don't remember that at all. There's a scene with Scala, yes, here, where I forget exactly what the deal is, but she's like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I think she just maybe meets up with Melchior or something. Maybe she noticed that the mountain fell down or something. She kind of just explains all the stuff that you just said, and then she said, "But they need me." She says they need me specifically, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go back. I decided to defy my mother, right? And then Dalton shows up and kidnaps her. Right? Dalton shows up and kidnaps her in a pretty dramatic scene, and pretty cool how it goes down. But yeah, but anyway, she opened the Skyway. That's why you can do it. So she's like, I opened the Skyway, blah 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 blah, but don't worry, I'm not going to go to the Ocean Palace. And then Dalton's like, ha ha ha, I kidnapped her, and then I like teleported away or whatever. And so now you have your big mission. In fact, there's even like super dramatic. Oh, and I watched the scene twice because that boss we just talked about, how hard it was. I had to fight it twice because of a problem, because of a RetroArch issue, or I had to beat it twice rather. Luckily, the second time was a lot easier than the first time. But anyway, you actually get a really epic moment where they're like, "We're going to be heroes," and it plays the main theme of the game, which I think that's the first time in the game it's done that. It's done like a "Let's go be heroes." Again, they're tricking you into thinking this is the end of the game. Right? Because it plays the main theme of the game as they all say, let's go be heroes and fucking kill Lavos, or at least stop the thing by fucking up the queen and rescuing Scala and blah, 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 blah. It's cool as shit. Yeah, so then you just go back to Zeal the normal style way, and when you're going through all the towns, everyone says the same shit.
Yeah, nothing new. So, yeah, you make your way into the Queen's chamber, which one of the NPCs earlier said that's the teleporter that takes you to the Ocean Palace. Yeah. So you run up to the Queen's chamber, and who's waiting on you but Dalton? And Dalton whinges about having to be on guard duty, and the Prophet gets to go and be all cool and explore the Ocean Palace or whatever the fuck. So... he then is like, your history. So we kick his ass real quick, real easy. He only has 3,500 HP, and my Falcon Strike was doing like 900 plus. So he goes down real fast.
What's even his gimmick? I don't even remember. Like, what is that battle?
He has.
Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say he does the same things that the golems do. but Eli, you can say what that is.
Yeah, he halves character's health with a big attack.
Yeah,
and then he does a burp ability, which will fucking end anyone under 150 HP. Essentially, why it's called burp, I don't know. Sam was just demonstrating that earlier in the podcast. He was just demonstrating Dalton's attack.
That's it. I was on brand, guys.
Yeah. I was using Flame Sword for that, and it was doing like 1,000 each time. He's such a bitch. He is such a little bitch.
I just realized another interesting little not a callback, but just another funny little parallel is, hey, a boss that only uses Dimmy and therefore is like fundamentally impossible to lose. Although in this case he does use the burp at the end, but like literally all he uses on you is Dimmy. Hey, that was the first boss of Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But so we take him down real easy, and he's like, God damn it, I can't be beaten now. Mm-hmm. So instead, I'm going to summon 2 golems. Oh no, he doesn't do that here.
No, this is later. That's at the end of the Ocean Palace.
Yeah. I thought that happened here, but no, that's at the end of the Ocean Palace.
No, he just runs away like a big fucking pansy.
Yeah, he runs away like a bitch, and we go.
This is where he says it. This is where he says my favorite line. I was going to save it for memorable moments.
Go for it.
Fuck it, I'm going to say it now. Best villain line ever. You got lucky this time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
That was one of mine as well. It's quite good.
It's so good.
It's amazing.
So we get to the Ocean Palace. And when we're in there, we see Mune, and he's like, some bad shit is fucking going down in here. I got to get the fuck out of here. And
there's one more very important thing. I'm sorry, one more very important thing. In the big dramatic "Let's Go Save the Day" scene, Scala gives you, or maybe Melchior gives you a special magic knife. It is called, I forget what it's called, but it is made of the red.
The ruby knife.
It's a ruby knife, and it's made of the same stuff as made on a machine. You might also be like, wait, red rock? That's interesting. Maybe anything that's red is associated with Lavos, basically. Anyway, I'm going to be talking more about that later because I think it's cool. So you have a red knife. You can't equip it, which is a shame because I bet it does hell of damage because no one knows how to use a knife in your party, apparently. And they'll be damned if they're going to figure out how to use more than one weapon. So it's just in your inventory, and you're going to use that later. Also, I think there was one more tiny little detail. It's just because it actually ends up, it does be important in a really cool way. Well, whatever the other thing is, I guess I forgot it. Whatever.
Yep. Me too. So, so we see a scene where, the queen is like, let's crank the Mammon machine to 11. Shala, you do it. And she's like, no. And the queen's like, yes. And so Shala's like, okay. So she cranks up the Mammon machine a whole bunch. Everything starts to go red and get all creepy and bad. And then hold on. Got a work email.
Scala is hold on. The queen is like, let's turn up to 11, and Scala is like, why does the machine go to 11? And she's like, because that's more Lavos power than if it went up to 10. And she's like, well, why don't you just make it go up to 10 and make 10 more powerful? And the queen is like, no, this Mammon machine goes up to 11.
God damn it. So as Shala turns up the machine, it like hurts her really bad, and she falls down, and the prophet looks over at her concernedly. Wonder why. So back to us, and we do the dungeon, and I really like the look of this dungeon. I don't really like the gimmick of this dungeon. What about you guys? Did you enjoy this dungeon?
Once I figured out the gimmick, after it nearly killed me.
Wait, there's a gimmick? What's the gimmick? What?
So if you the elemental sentries,
yeah,
if you hit them with the wrong element, they will fuck you up.
Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking more gimmick is like the dungeon itself. I get you. Yeah. I love this dungeon. It's got one of the best tracks of music in the entire game by far. It's got phenomenal graphics. It's so fucking cool. Also, the layout's neat. If you can actually avoid the battles like way more than usual. It's got this like whole layout. It's like the dungeon is it's a very big open room kind of, and it's kind of maze-like, but it's a maze of like walkways over like an abyss, and you can kind of go a lot of different directions. What's cool though is did you notice you can like there's like a little ledge around the wall, and you can like skirt around the entire perimeter. It's really cool, and if you notice you can do that, you can avoid a bitch ton of battles while still trying to make sure you explore and get the chests. So like the only reason you would even have a battle is if you tried to get a chest and accidentally got, like, if you don't even care about chests, you could probably get through this whole first section with like 0 battles, which is really cool. And yeah, the gimmick, it's amazing how hard they punish you for fucking it up. Then again, if they punished you less, maybe you just wouldn't notice or care, and you would just be like, whatever, I'm just gonna hit you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so so you make your way through it, and you come to an elevator. I'm making sure there aren't any scenes between here and the elevator. I don't think there are. Yes, you come to an elevator, and you then have to ride it down. Oh, there is a scene before the elevator. Whoopsies. So, in that scene is basically just the queen being like, "Oh hell yeah, Lavos power," and Shalala's like, "But this energy is all dark and shit." And the queen is like, "I don't give a shit. Give me all that. Pump that Lavos straight into my veins." And all the scientists are like, "It's too dangerous to continue." And she's like, "I don't give a fuck. Keep it going. We've just got a little longer to go, and we'll be immortal. And Zeal will have all eternal glory. Eternal glory. Mwahahaha. Because she's the good guy."
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell she's the good guy because of the evil way she talks.
Yes. So then we go through the elevator, which is a JRPG elevator where somehow monsters come onto the elevator while it's in motion, and you have to fight new monsters in multiple waves on an elevator. It is never made sense in any JRPG.
I think calling a JRPG elevator is disrespectful to the great genre of beat-em-ups.
True. It is a beat-em-up elevator that JRPGs have lovingly borrowed.
Yeah.
It's so fucking stupid. Yes. It's so fucking stupid. It's easy. Like, all of them are easier than the normal fights that you're in the regular dungeon. I just wait for they all like are melee dudes, so they like run at you, and I just wait till they're all in the middle, and I Falcon Strike all of them, and they're gone, and it's easy.
Falcon Strike is so fucking good.
It's so good. So then we have the second part of the dungeon, which revolves around flipping switches to turn statues to make hidden pathways show up, which is cool. It's not long. It's not hard. Then we show up and we see Dalton again, and he's like, "Oh, now I'm really going to fuck you up because I'm going to bring in 2 golems because you fought one and it kicked your ass earlier. So now here's 2 of them. And if you don't learn the gimmick, you still die in like 1 turn over and over again until you figure out the gimmick." It took me a long time to figure it out. I had to look it up because I got my ass handed to me constantly. So their gimmick is they only attack with the element that you last attacked them with, including physical, as a hidden 5th element. So what you can do is one of 2 things. You can attack them with water, and then keep attacking them with water constantly because they only know Ice 1, and Ice 1 does like 20 fucking damage, and you can get through it like that. Or you can make every person use an all move of a different element every single time their turn is up, because when you change their element, their ATB resets. So then as long as you keep changing their element, they can't get in any attacks, and you can take them down.
But they're also
otherwise
very fast. I was not able to swing that strategy.
Your ATB speed is probably higher than mine, because it was real easy, and I had time to spare. I actually had to slow down because if I didn't slow down, I would get my first 3 turns out of the way for too long, and I'd have too long of a wait, and they would get an attack out before I would do the next one. But yeah, so if you don't do that, their physical attack, which if you have Ayla, you'll be using Falcon Strike because they're in a line. Their physical attack hits for like 400, and if you use Lightning, their lightning attack is Lightning 2, which hits for like 300, and they just hit real hard, real fast. So the only way to even like put a dent into them is to figure out one of their cheesy strategies, which is actually kind of cool because you die against them the first time, and I like it. Because you fight one and it's a forced loss, and you're like, wow, that's hard. And then you fight these 2, and you probably die your first time, and then it says game over, and it's like, no, I believe in you. You can do this, and it's kind of cool. I like it. Other than that, though, you kill them, and their final move is going to be one of my memorable moments, and I love it. But after you take him down, Dalton is like, I guess I'm going to have to kill you myself. But then everything goes red, and he's like, shit, it's Lavos' energy. So this isn't good. I don't want to die before I'm immortal, which is how that would work, Dalton. If you're immortal, then you won't die. So the only time you would die would be before you were immortal. So he then leaves and teleports out. So we get to run up and go to see the Mammon machine. And we're like, Shala, we're here to save you. And the queen's like, nah, we're going to awaken Lavos. Everything is cool. The Mammon machine like bitch slaps Shala, and the prophet runs to her aid. And the queen is like, Shala, control the machine. And Luke is like, Chrono, take the knife, stab it into the machine. And so you do, and it becomes the Mass Immune, which is real cool. Massa and Mune show up, and they infuse it with even more power, and you drive it into the Mammon machine, and it's super kick-ass, and it destroys the machine, but it's too late, and Lavos shows up, and we're now in the final fight of the game. We now get to fight Lavos. How did you guys do in this fight?
Oh man, it was real tough. I couldn't beat it. I don't know why.
Yep. I guess we'll just have to stop talking about this game because I cannot beat this boss.
Yep.
Yeah.
I beat it. It was really easy. And so then it took me to the end of time, and I got to meet all of the developers that said, holy shit, you're really good at this game. How the fuck did you beat Lavos right here? You are now the official 5th member of the Dream Team. Welcome to the hardest to get ending of Chrono Trigger. And you get to meet little pixel versions of Hironobu Sakaguchi and Yuji Horii and Akira Toriyama and Nobuo Uematsu.
Yeah. If you beat the game right here, you get the developer ending, which is I've never gotten before or even watched a video of it because that's not a thing that I bother doing usually. But
it's just too hard.
One thing I really appreciate about this game is that they don't cheat. Lavos has precisely the same stats he's going to have later.
Yeah,
which I love. Which means
it's really cool.
He wipes your entire party in literally the first move.
Yeah, it does like max damage. You get fucking owned because you're only halfway through the game. But everyone gets destroyed on this LP. I'm looking at. He does over 1,000 damage to each person.
Yeah,
they're just.
That's approximately how much it was to me.
Yeah. So as we all die, the prophet warps in, and he's like, "I've waited long for this moment." And he whips off his Wizardmon hat, and it's Magus underneath, and none of us saw it coming. It wasn't painfully obvious foreshadowing, and it's not like all of us were shoved through a time portal, and then suddenly there are 8 new people around, and 7 of them are in your party. Wonder what the last person could be. But Magus is like, I've waited for this moment so I could kill you myself. I swore I would destroy you no matter the price. So I'm going to beat the shit out of you. And it like his power just like dinks off of Lavos and doesn't fucking do a goddamn thing. So the Queen and Shala shows up, and Shala's like, "Mom, stop this." And the Queen's just like, "Shut up, little bitch." And blah 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 blah. The Queen blasts the shit out of Shala, and she's like, "Prophet, you lied to me, but come and face me and Lavos together." And Magus can't do shit, and Lavos instead drains Magus's energy, and basically just gets his ass handed to him. So the whole party, including Magus, are laying down like dead on the floor. So the Queen starts to gloat, and is like, Lavos is going to destroy everything, and it's all going according to plan. So Chrono stands up, and everyone else is like, "Chrono, what are you doing? How do you have any strength left?" And Chrono says, "You forget, I'm Goku. I always have a little more strength where I somehow am stronger when I'm about to die."
That's JRPG boss logic. The boss is always stronger in his second phase.
Yeah.
If the bosses can do it, why can't the hero?
Yeah, and so Lavos starts charging like this beam, and you can see like where the beam's going to blast and like kill your party. And the game lets you play and lets you walk around and do your shit. So you can talk to everybody, and they're like, "Chrono, how the fuck are you awake?" And you can go and walk up to Lavos and the Queen and stand in front of the beam, and Chrono just fucking gets dead. He just gets fucking destroyed.
Fucking vaporized.
He gets fucking like owned like a little bitch.
All right. So first off, I at first, when I said in the host chat that I think I know where the big moment is. This was after Magus was like, "I've been trying to defeat you, Lavos." And I'm like, "Oh, hey, that's a big deal," because we thought Magus was a bad guy. And then suddenly Chrono just gets fucking evaporated. And I'm like, what? It was a fucking shit. What was my boy? Albert. It was an Albert moment all over again, except it happened to the main fucking character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Albert.
Lavitz.
Lavitz. Yeah.
This
It's a Lavitz moment all over again. Yeah.
I was telling you the same earlier off of the host in a private chat, and I was saying, main character death, not main character, but important character death is obviously one of the oldest trick in the storytelling books, and in RPGs, it's not too uncommon to have a party character die, but weirdly enough, it's shockingly rare to have the actual main character die, to the point where I literally could not think of another example, at least not another example that doesn't happen at the end of the game.
Yeah.
I could not think of another example.
Yeah. I was just like, what? I spent all this time giving him power tabs.
Yep.
What am I to do? Because I was like, all right, so that boy's prophecy probably means someone is actually going to die. And it's going to be like Marl or something, and it's going to be a character I really love. No, it's my character. It's me. They killed me.
Eli, I'm glad you mentioned that prophecy. I was going to mention that in my memorable moment, but since you brought it up, think about how, technically, when you think about it, that gives it away if you think way too hard about it, and if you're me, you already know what happens. Because he says one of you is going to die, but you get to pick your party. So who must that be about if you can talk to him with any party you want? The only character who has to be in your party when he says that is Chrono.
That didn't never fucking...
Oh, of course. I didn't think about that either, but I'm saying in retrospect.
This fucking broke my brain. It broke my brain. Yeah. My brain is broken. Broken forever. Never coming back from this.
To quote, did you see the time knife, Eli?
The time knife?
Oh, no, you're like Cheaty. It broke you. Y'all watch... Sam,
I watched The Good Place.
Okay, I'm like, one of you gets that fucking reference.
I haven't. Oh,
Eli has just learned about Jeremy Bearimy.
Yes. That all Tuesdays are on the dot of the I in Jeremy Bearimy.
I've been meaning. Yeah, I've been meaning to watch that for a while, but
it's really good.
I've seen GIFs of it and stuff, and it looks really good.
But yeah, our main character just fucking dies, and you've gone through a great tragedy, but yet you still must go to the school the next morning.
I mean, this game is full of timey-wimey bullshit, so I'm kind of expecting that he may come back at some point. Don't tell me whether or not he does, but I'm also expecting to be really disappointed when I find out he doesn't come back. So either way, like, I'm preparing myself.
So I'm not going to spoil it. But I will say, because it's kind of necessary, that the heroes do attempt to bring him back. That's next week's play. I have to tell you that, otherwise you don't know where we're playing to. I will not tell you if they succeed or not.
Yes.
Okay.
But great. Yes, there is a quest. He comes back
as a zombie and he eats them all. I'm expecting that now.
There is a quest where they're like, we gotta get Chrono back.
Yeah, which I'll explain more of when we wrap up this scene and talk about next week. This is definitely the world of ruin from Final Fantasy VI, where from here on the game is non-linear and largely optional. You could turn right around after this for this like hour of play we have next week. You could turn right around and go back and fight Lavos and win and end the game, and that would be an ending to the game. There's a lot of cool side quests and shit that make the game really awesome that we're going to be doing, but so I'll have to do at least light spoilers for the last half of the game. But like this could be the end, which is bizarre and awesome. So so we all the whole party gets teleported back out to the throne room where like they're all like safe and away from Lavos, and Shala is like, let me use my pendant's power to send you to safety, but I'm going to send you to the surface. So she does, and we all get teleported away, and Shala stays behind in the Ocean Palace, and we see a cutscene of Lavos breaking through the planet like he will in 2300 AD, and him breaking through the planet sends off big explodey lasers that just slice Zeal into fucking pieces, and it explodes and it crashes down to the ground, and there's no more flying continent. There's a really cool SNES graphics like tsunami, well, that I really liked right there. But you wake up in Terra Cave, and the Earthbound ones are like, fucking the two of you at this point are all that there were. There was no Chrono, so Chrono's dead, and you're like, shit, this sucks, and it lets you save, and that's where we stopped for the week. Probably was a little bit more of a telling you the next place to go, but basically you just wake up and everyone's dead, so you save your game. And yeah, it's heavy. So before we go into memorable moments, because this game is completely like non-linear from here out, the next week we are going to be playing the next linear bit of gameplay that has another dramatic scene and another twist. Sorry, Eli, the twists don't stop coming.
Oh, God.
So there's another twist.
Game is so twisty.
There's another twist at the North Cape that you'll obviously know what it is. I mean, there's a chance if you're heartless that you won't realize it, but knowing Eli, you'll probably know it when you see it. But it happens at the North Cape, and so after that part, it's then up to you to do what you want. What we're going to do is try and save Chrono, and that involves going to Death Peak that we mentioned earlier. So do the little bit of linear, and then try and get to Death Peak. And if you're ever lost and you're like, I have no idea what's going on, I will gladly spoil. This quest is a little fucking obtuse, real hard to do, to just figure out. But talk to NPCs, see what's going on, see if you can do it. But we'll be here to tell you where to go because it's dumb.
I will give I will give one major hint. First of all, I'd rather you get spoiled on what to do by us than get spoiled on a twist by an FAQ that you were looking at accidentally. But anyway, I will say in this next part of the game, don't get me wrong, there's some obtuse bits, but the start quest of the starting point of every quest, it's actually not too hard, because if you talk to the guy at the end of time, he gives you hints. Mm-hmm. So the guy at the end of time will be like, something interesting is happening in this general location in 600 AD, and that's like, oh, that's the head, that's the quest head, right? So so that is your, I would say that's your go-to for what to do next. But other than that, but just thought I'd throw that out there.
But if he if his hints are not good enough, please ask us and don't Google it, because there are still some twists ahead that I don't want to be spoiled for you.
Yeah.
But let's listen to that kick-ass Ocean Palace music and talk about our memorable moments. I only have one that I wrote down this week, and I love it, so I'm going to go first. So the Golem twins, when you're fighting them, you'll use a physical attack on them, and it'll be mimic physical attacks, and then we'll start using physical. You use lightning, it'll be mimic lightning attacks. So when you kill them, it says mimic Dalton, and they do the burp move that Dalton does, and it's fucking great, and I love it. It's just so silly, but that's the main one that I had. There's the caveat to me saying that's the only one I have. Every single line of dialogue in Zeal in the Ted Woolsey cut is magnificent. It's only okay in the Slattery cut. It's interesting. I can't. I don't want to dog Slattery too much, because his localization is a good localization, and it's interestingly written, and the words all make sense together, and it's really well done. I just miss the guy that says, "Am I actually here, or am I just a sentient bowl of fruit salad dreaming on a windowsill," or whatever the fuck he says.
He specifically says,
I miss all of that shit.
Ball dreaming I'm a plate of sashimi, because that's one of I have a screenshot of that one.
I miss having those. But the Slattery cut is really good. If you only have the ability to play it on Steam or the DS, do so. Yeah, it's really good. Really good. It's not.
It was a very Twin Peaks sounding line to me.
Yeah.
But I miss the Woolsey cut. But what about you guys?
I gave my main memorable moment, which was, I think I said it wrong. It's like, I guess it's your lucky day. Yeah, bye-bye. I guess it's your lucky day. Bye-bye! Like, that is the dumbest, most amazing villain line I have ever fucking heard. I love it.
Yeah, Dalton rules.
And also Chrono getting fucking vaporized.
Yeah.
Like that. I've never had someone just completely end my main character. Like, he's gone. There's no more trace of him. He is dead. He is deceased. He is an ex-Chrono.
Yeah, he's like very
Maddie,
dead.
I've thought of the only other time that the main character has died, but I don't know if you've read it. It's a manga by Takeshi Oba.
That's a video game.
If it's a manga, I have not read it.
It's anime adaptation. It's also really good. It involves potato chips.
Oh,
dramatically.
I know what you're talking about.
I do not think I know what you're talking about.
Then
I know exactly what you're
don't want to spoil it, but that manga is 13 volumes. Super important character off in volume 7, and you just got to fucking deal with it.
Yep.
And it's really cool.
Here's what you should do, Sam. At some undisclosed point in the future, a decent amount of time from now, so I won't associate it, just casually mention that manga and how it's really good and I should read it. That way I won't know what you're talking about.
Will do.
Yeah.
And then later I'll be like,
it's one of my favorites.
Although, frankly, the fact that you just mentioned volume counts, I probably, if you ever recommend a 13-volume manga to me again, I'm probably going to expect a main character to die in volume 7. So, fuck you. But whatever.
I'm sorry. I'll do it. I'll wait even a little bit longer so you forget that part.
Find a bunch of other 13-volume mangas and recommend all of them.
Throw me, or lie to me and don't tell me there's like 11 volumes, and then I'll find out later that it was actually 13.
Yeah. And I'll give you like the first 11 at first. I'm like, oh, here you go. Read these first 11, and then when you get past volume 7, be like, here's two more.
You said that, she's gonna see it coming. So there's no winning in this situation.
Look, it's okay. Like, look, here's the thing. It turns out
here's the secret. I'll just tell her to watch the anime, and then she won't know how many volumes
that's actually pretty smart. I was gonna say, here's the secret. I'm never going to read a manga.
Absolutely. But
cool. I'm glad you thought of literally one more example.
Yeah. But yeah, fucking, I can't, like, it blew me away when I was 14 on spring break. I was visiting my friend and he was fucking boring, so I didn't engage with him at all, and I pulled out my laptop and I played Chrono Trigger instead, and it was like mind-blowing that you could kill a main character. Only thing that would like come close to this would be if your main character and the villain like swapped places for like one of the 2 discs of a whole game. That would be crazy.
I had to delete a bunch real fast because I actually do have a bunch. I'll go through them very quickly. First of all, just the graphics in Zeal are amazing. It's just phenomenal. It's amazing the moment when you are in, because everything else in this game is very tropey, and also it's very realistic. What do I mean by realistic? There's magic and shit. Well, yeah, but like 600 AD, that's just medieval times. Like, yeah, it's got magic, but it's like Arthurian shit. It's the same. That's very typical. Like, if you take out the magic, it's not even fantasy. It's just medieval, right? And caveman times, we all are aware that there were once cavemen, right? The future, we can all imagine a future, a dystopian, shitty future where everything sucks. Well, it's actually very easy to imagine, especially right now. The modern day is just a different kind of medieval, right? It's later medieval, Renaissance era. So this is the one part of the game that is just truly unique. And so when you're in the cold ass place, you're like, oh wow, this is the Dark Ages. Everything sucks because Lavos fell and ruined everything. But then you walk into that place called Skyway and you get in there, and what you see is completely not what you expect. It's this beautiful, ornate building with this giant magical sigil on the ground full of these runes, and everything is like, you're not really sure what everything's made of, but it might be, everything's like gold colored. There's a lot of gold color. So it could be gold or bronze, or it could just be stone, but it's this beautiful yellow stone. Everything's purple. Everything's like purple and yellow. Like everything is super secondary colors. And it's just an amazing moment. And it's a very inauspicious way to be like, fucking buckle up. Fucking buckle up, kiddo, because this game is about to kick it into high gear.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm not going to go slip through everything. Zeal in general is amazing. I'll skip past the sashimi part. There's a fucking throwaway line by the sashimi character, actually, his next line, where he turns into a, what do you call it, little plushie, and he says,
little Furbies.
"Do you believe in fate? Which means our lives are all predetermined." Here's the thing: that sounds like something a random person who's high would say. I forgot to get a picture of the response here, which is a shame. But your responses are like some form of yes, some form of no.
It's
I don't have time
yes,
for
no,
this.
and it doesn't
We
matter.
don't have time for this.
Which is hilarious. Anyway, he says, "Do you believe in fate?" Which means all our lives are predetermined. He capitalizes fate. Let's just say there's a lot of really important plot shit in Chrono Cross that I did not realize was originally in Chrono Trigger. So that's some fucking Takahashi / Masato Kato shit right there. Second thing, one among you will shortly perish. I already said that. Very, very small little detail that I love. There's actually 2 main continents in the Kingdom of Zeal, and the one that has Inhasa on it and the one that has the next town on it. And there's not like a bridge between them. In order to get to them, you have to go to another skyway, go back down to the surface, walk through another snowy wasteland, and then go back up. I think that's really cool because by forcing you to go back and forth, it's reiterating the distinction between the two. It's saying, remember, this, now that you've seen the up there place, see the down here place again. It just really dramatically solidifies that upper world, lower world, haves and have-nots kind of mindset, which is just a very subtle little choice that's really cool. Next thing, there's some foreshadowing here. Did either or both of y'all meet the plant lady?
No.
Oh, yes. The one who asks if you like plants.
Oh, yeah.
And you can tell her yes or no.
Yeah.
And I said yes because I was like, who the fuck? Well, I mean, I have bad allergies, so sometimes I do hate plants, I admit. But that's mostly just cedar and juniper trees. Fuck those trees. Fuck the fact that cities typically plant male-only trees because they don't want fucking seeds everywhere, but then we get oversaturated with pollen, and really it's humans' fault, not the cedar trees, and I shouldn't hold it against them.
As usual. It turns out it's man.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, also, every single time that Sam talks about that previous boss, every time Sam said the arm, I was just like, I am the arm.
I am the arm.
And I sound like this.
Yeah.
This is actually pretty important, as we'll find out in like 2 weeks from now.
Oh yeah. So I told her, yes, I like plants, and then she was like, so and so wants me to burn this. Should I do it? And I said, no, secretly plant it. And I don't know if that is good or bad, but I was like,
you did the right thing.
Fucking okay, great. I was like, don't burn the tree.
If you hadn't, I'd be very upset, actually. Not like actually, but you know what I mean. It would be a big bummer, is what I'm saying, because of
fuck that tree.
But anyway, I forget the exact deal, but basically, like, she accidentally like mutated or bioengineered a magical tree that can cure the environment. And the Queen Zeal this is what she says, and Queen Zeal tells her to burn it. Queen Zeal is like, you created an abomination, burn that thing, and you tell her not to. And then she says something like, you're right. I love trees. I'm gonna secretly plant it. And then she says, if I'm reborn, I hope it'll be in a land full of green forests. This seems very reminiscent of that character that really loves trees that we have already seen elsewhere in the game. This is one of the side quests that we're going to do later. So I think it's really cool. It's cool how it starts here. It's cool how inauspicious it is, and also it's very important. And it's my literal favorite thing about the entire game. That this side quest. So heads up. Let's see. I'm almost done. Only a little bit more. I'm not going to talk about the bazillion things that I love about the Kingdom of Zeal. I will say I love how it's so player directed. I love the slow burn of you slowly learning about. So you've already heard the word Mammon Machine a couple of times, but it's not till almost at the very end of the exploration period that if you talk to a certain NPC, he goes a step farther. He doesn't just say, the evil machine that's ominous is going to bring prosperity. He specifically says, beyond here is the hall of the Mammon Machine. The incredible energy of Lavos pervades it. So they wait for that reveal. They wait until you've already been hearing about the Mammon Machine for literally 3 towns worth of NPCs before they drop that reveal that the Mammon Machine is harnessing the power of Lavos. And this is all just NPC dialogue. It's not a dramatic cutscene. It's so fucking good. And then just lots of amazing tableaus here. The whole thing where the game goes into a more side-angle view to get some cool 3D graphics. There's the Mammon Machine room. There's the Queen's Throne room. There's the place where you fight against Giga Bowser. There's a shit ton. Like they repeat this trick over and over and over in this game, and it rules so hard. And finally, a cute little line from what's her name? Luca, my favorite character in the game, whose name I forgot. Luca has a wonderful line if she's in your party when you finally get to the Mammon Machine. Everyone says they're dramatic lines, right? There's a lot of parts specifically this week where every character says a dramatic hero line, and at this point she says, "It's a pity, but I'll have to turn the machine off." Like she yells at Queen Zeal, "It's a pity, but I'll have to turn this machine off," which at first I thought, oh, she's being sassy, she's being snarky. That's a really cute way for her to be sassy, like, hey, sorry. But then I realized, no, she's Luca. She's bummed out because this machine fucking rules, and she probably would love to investigate it and research it and learn about it because she's a engineer. But she's like, man, it really sucks. We gotta destroy this machine, guys. And that's it. That's all. I'm going to limit myself to that for the week. And yeah, this game rules. This game whips.
I have one final one that I just remembered, and it's super stupid. And I should have let it end on Lucas thing, but instead I'm going to do a real dumb one.
Oh yeah.
So
love it.
One of the new that's around Zeal is like, God damn it, my back is so itchy. Could you scratch it for me?
Important.
So you help him scratch it. And so you scratch his back, and it, like an item tooltip pops up. And this is like, you got the secret of new back scratching. And
oh yeah,
I fucking love it.
You think it's stupid now? Just wait till it turns out that's a critically important piece of information, and it gets even more stupid.
Gotta love it. But that will do it for the week. As always, if you like what we do here, consider donating on our Ko-Fi at ko-fi.com/RPG Book Club, where you can vote on our Best of the Rest 2020 bracket and decide what game we play next. And if you want to just hang out with us, you can find links to all of our social media on our website at www.rpgbook.club. And please come and hang out with us in our Discord and on our Twitter. Our Twitter, I basically just retweet JRPG related memes at this point. But our Discord is always bumping with really good discussion, like basically always, and it's awesome. But next week we will be stopping after the side quest that culminates at the top of Death Peak. So if you do not know what that is, you can join our Discord and ask us for spoiler-free hints, and we will point you in the right direction. But like Maddie said earlier, talk to I almost said his name. Talk to the old man at To the End of Time, And
whoa, you almost spoiled the shit out of that, apparently.
Sam, yep. I would have been so fucking mad because I've been avoiding that.
Yeah. So talk to the old man at the end of time, and he will
spoiler,
he will give you hints. Yeah,
he's not Chrono's dad.
Yeah, talk to Chrono's dad if you get lost, and he'll point you in the right direction.
He's gonna be so sad to find out his son was evaporated.
Actually, that's my headcanon now. He is Chrono's dad.
Yeah. So talk to him, and if you still can't figure it out, come talk to us in the Discord, and we will help you. For the love of God, do not Google where to go next. This game is, if you do not know where to go next, don't Google it, because this game is such a part of the JRPG canon that everyone assumes that you've played it, and the spoilers will just be fucking out there.
Look, I've avoided spoilers for 25 years.
Actually, this is I know that we're supposed to be like done, but this reminds me of a very interesting anecdote that I think would be a nice place to sign off. I swear it's a very quick anecdote.
Okay.
The very quick anecdote is that I played Final Fantasy VII for the first time in like the year fucking like 2004 or some shit, or maybe 3. It was around the time Advent Children came out. Even though I was already a big Final Fantasy fan, I didn't have a PlayStation, so I couldn't play it. Then I found out that it was on PC and immediately fucking bought it, even though that version is bizarre and bad, but also I love it. Anyway, point is, I somehow managed to go my whole life without being spoiled on the big thing, on Aerith fucking dying in Final Fantasy VII. I don't know how I managed to do that. I was a forum kid. I was on fucking forums. I had managed to avoid spoilers from the big spoiler Final Fantasy VII. I don't know how. So somehow I did it, and I can't believe it in retrospect. It's kind of hilarious. So I go all the way through the first part of the game thinking, wow, I'm really loving this game. I'm so glad I'm finally getting to play it after liking the other FF games that I played. What a great game, especially Aerith. She's such a nice character. Well, Aerith, I should say. And then, I shit you not, I got spoiled by an FAQ that I was looking at for the dungeon that she dies at the end of.
Damn.
I was just I was just not thinking, and I had scrolled ahead, and my eyes saw something, and like down to the fucking wire. I was so close. I almost made it. Anyway, that's my cute little story about somehow almost managing to avoid the biggest spoiler in JRPG history.
Almost. So close.
Almost. Did not. But, almost an Allman Brothers film.
Yes. But, yeah, for RPG Book Club, I have been Sam Allman.
I've been Elias Sailor Eli Warren.
And I'm Maddie, who got spoiled, Grace Webbin.
I guess you got lucky this time. Bye-bye.
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 That's the new Toodaloo.
You know what I get stuck in my head a lot? The frickin' ice cream truck from Invader Zim. Where instead of playing like nice music, if I recall, it's like a droning monotone like German ass voice where he's like, "You like ice cream, you love it, you love ice cream,
ice cream."
Right?
Yes.
I'm not even the hugest Zim fan, so I haven't seen this in probably a decade and a half, 2 decades maybe, but I'm pretty sure it's always stuck in my head.
I watched it pretty recently. I didn't finish the series, but I watched a bunch of episodes because I was like, I need to, there's a movie out and I should see it at some point. So I watched it. I watched it through again, and I don't think I had even seen that many episodes when it was out originally.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that show is fucking dark, and I love it.
It's good. Show? Invader Zim.
Oh, yeah. Invader Zim is in a weird place for me where, I watch it and I'm like, man, this is real good and I really like it. But then, anytime I try to, show it to somebody, I feel, so embarrassed by it. Like, I feel it's tapping into the guttural 14-year-old that is inside of me.
I understand that. I understand that feeling.
And I'm just like, I don't know if it's actually good, but I like it. And the world doesn't exist outside of my own perception, so it's great.
No, it's pretty good. I think it was. I mean, I do think in many ways it was. I mean, it's a product of its time. I don't know if it's an enduring, just all-time classic canonical work of fucking animation or whatever. But like, also it came out almost 2 decades ago and is a show for preteens, and it does fucking whip.
Yeah,
it's post 9/11, right?
I don't know.
Pretty sure it's post 9/11.
I remember friends in 5th grade talking about it, and they were friends that I met in my GT class. And my GT class I moved to after 9/11, so it was at least partially post 9/11.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I don't really remember anything that happened before I was 10 years old. So,
yeah. Fun fact: the world was created perfectly as it is, as it was at the time when you were 10 years old. So that's why.
That's true.
Yeah. The world doesn't exist when before we're 10. Every time someone turns 10, resets the clock, and the world just starts over.
Interesting, Sam.